Okay, so often when I'm trying to help people with fractions, there's a lot of things that you should know. So there's a few things that I'll kind of mention here. But at first I want to kind of draw just a very basic fraction of 3/4, 3/4, as it were. Kind of let you know about some of the words that are used here and what kind of goes on. So the top one is always your numerator. The bottom is your denominator. Now the question I always get is, what are those two things? What is numerator? What does denominator mean? So let's kind of liken it to, let's say, a pie or a pizza, however you want to think about it. So you have this whole pizza, this whole pie, whatever you want to think about it. The denominator is how many pieces you've cut this into. So there's 4 pieces here. This would be the denominator, whereas the numerator, let's say I ate this piece right here. So the numerator is how many pieces are left. So when I have 3/4, I have 3/4 of this pie. Numerator tells me how many are left. Denominator tells me how many there were, to create basically a full sort of thing. Now, a lot of times when people get here, they're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So then let's say instead of having 3/4, I had 6/8 of the pie. And a lot of people get here and they're like, oh, this is the answer. I have a numerator, I have a denominator, I'm good. And you'll have a circle like this. First, you'll have it cut into 8 pieces. And you'll say something like, well, I don't have these 2 pieces right here. These 2 pieces are missing. So since I don't have these 2 pieces, then it's 6/8. My numerator is filled, my denominator is fulfilled. The problem with that, though, is that even though that I have 6/8 of this pizza, that's incorrect for a lot of reasons. And you might notice there's a lot of similarities between these 2 different circles. Well, why is that? It's because, well, we have the exact same amount. I don't have 6/8 of that pizza left. I have 3/4 of this pizza left. So the question is, well, how do I get from this position to this position? And the answer comes in, well, what is 6/8 actually made out of? And if you look at these and we think about factorization, what multiples create 6? 6 is made up of 2 times 3, where 8 is made up of, well, you could do 2 times 2 times 2, but for reference, we'll do 2 times 4. Now you might notice already right there, there's our answer. That's the simplified form. So what happens with these 2/2? Well, first of all, let's talk about division real quick. If I have anything, let's say 5, and I divide it by the exact same number, it's always 1. Now, if I take anything and multiply it by 1, let's say I take 8 and multiply it by 1, it stays 8, right? So we're actually using these 2 ideas right here. First of all, 5 divided by 5, because this is 2, and this little bar here, 2 out of 2, that's just 1. So this guy right here is just 1. And if I take that 1 and I multiply it by 3/4, that's not changing. It stays 3/4. So the easiest way to think about this is, depending on how big my fraction may be, let's say that I had 50 75ths, sure. I have 50 75ths. Well, then comes the question, what are these both divisible by that's fairly large? And this may take a couple of tries. I know they're both divisible by, let's say, 5. So this is 5 out of 5. 50 divided by 5 is easy, it's 10. 75 divided by 5 is a little bit harder. But if you multiply this by 2, it becomes 15, and then just move the decimal place over 1, and it becomes, well, 150. And move the decimal place over 1, it becomes 15. So there we go. By the way, if you ever wonder how that works, if you take any number and you're dividing it by 5, you can take this number, multiply it by 2, which will give you 150. and then divide, and then move the decimal place once. Because all I've done here is I've doubled this, and then I divided it by 10, which means I just divided by 5. Fun facts. Anyway, so there we go. 10 15ths. So we got 50 75ths equals 5 fifths times 10 15ths. We know this is just one, so we can just say, hey, that's just going to be a multiple of 1. It's not going to matter. So, well, what about 10 15ths? Well, 10 15ths is also 5 fifths times 2 thirds. Those guys once again cancel. My answer is actually 2 thirds. So just think about what their common divisor is, how you're going to use that, and things like that. But that's my very short explanation on what a fraction is and how to simplify your fractions. And subsequently, I actually got to when you're dividing by 5, but that's a story for a different time. So I hope you enjoyed this, and hope this helps you guys out throughout the year.